After the accident,
I was stuck paying all these medical bills.
The Witherspoon Law Group understands that you didn't deserve what happened to you, but you do deserve justice.
They weren't just there for me, they fought for me.
I care about what my clients are going through. We are in the fight of their lives.
We don't just fight for you, we fight with you and make sure you get the compensation you deserve.
And that's why we do what we do. And what we do is win.
Call 844-WE-WIN-44.
Welcome to Winning Wednesday, another Wednesday where we give you wonderful information that sets you up for the play so that you can win throughout your week and go throughout your day. First of all, let me just say thank you for the overwhelming response that we had. Sorry. That's how excited I am. The overwhelming response that we had from the interview that I did with my daughter, Leslie Lloyd, Miss Billionaire Body. So thank you for all your questions, all of your well wishes. We really appreciate it. And if you missed it, you can go back to YouTube and watch it on demand on Roku, Apple TV, all of your downloadable networks for Media Room 360. Well, last week we had some things to happen. And first, let me just send my heartfelt condolences to all of the families that lost a loved one in the tragic event that happened in Houston with the Travis Scott concert. That was a very, very tragic situation. I know everyone was out to have a good time, and dealing with wrongful death situations and serious injury situations. Those conversations are hard to have with families. So if you know anyone that needs us, we're always here to talk. 844-WE-WIN-44. Well, today I have the honor and the pleasure of interviewing Mr. Richard Jackson from Manasseh Ministry. So can we welcome Mr. Richard Jackson to the show?
Thank you.
Welcome, Mr. Jackson, Reverend Richard Jackson.
Well, thank you, Ms. Iris.
It is an honor to have you here to have this conversation. You do some wonderful work, so it is my pleasure to share that with the community because that's what I do. I want to give information that people can win with, right?
Yes,
so I met you, I guess, 2006, 2007 on Martin Luther King, because I'm good on any Martin Luther King drive.
That's right. You're right.
But I met you at a mobile gas station, and at that time you were actually giving things out to, I thought just homeless people, and you told me you don't have to be homeless. Everybody needs some help, and so you gave me a good talking to and gave me your business card, and from there we have formed a really solid professional relationship, and I also consider you one of my friends. So
thank you.
I am very honored to chat with you today. Sequoia says, hey sis, hey, hi, how are you? Thanks for joining us. We are in for a treat today. Reverend Jackson is going to give us some information, and we'll learn more about Manasseh Ministry and how to donate and be a part if we want, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about Manasseh Ministry and the work that you do.
Well, Manasseh Ministry was incorporated back in 1991. It was a vision that God gave me prior to that. And we provide social services to families who have loved ones incarcerated. We also provide advocacy services or advocacy collaborations with agencies that advocate for different issues that relate to incarceration, falsely accused, the death penalty. We also advocate for those who are not getting their proper wages, so wages increase. We advocate for not total disarmament of the police force, but we advocate for issues that relate to anything that's injustice. We don't do it all, but we do that. And along with that, we have a lot of giveaways that we do every week. We did that today. We just try to be a place, a support system for families who are dealing with the incarceration of their loved one.
Okay, well, you do a whole lot, Reverend Jackson. So let me be the first to say thank you. And from a personal and professional standpoint, I know I've reached out to you on several occasions. I have clients that need assistance when people have accidents and things happen that take them out of their norm. Sometimes I call you. I think I called you as early as last week or 2 weeks
Hmm.
ago and had you trying to locate, just necessities for a client that was in a desperate need. And without hesitation, you took the call, made the connecting agencies, and client is happy. All is well. So thank you for that. But let's take a look at you like total in action, some of the work that you do, and let's talk about what you were doing at the time. Okay, so where were you and what was going on in this photo?
Well, this was one of the 22 food drives that they had at the Urban League, and we happened to be those in the picture. We happened to be a part of that uh, distribution. I served as the person who kept the line going and kept my voice was loud, so I kept the line going. But basically, what we were doing was putting food into cars or individuals who needed to have food. And you'd be
Okay,
surprised at the persons who were driving coming to get food. It was no shame. You needed food. You
right.
needed food because
Was
during
this
that
during
pandemic,
COVID?
yeah,
Okay, during the
right. This is during
pandemic.
that
Yeah,
pandemic. Yes, ma'am.
yeah. Okay. Now, let's talk a little bit more about um, Manasseh Ministry as okay. So there you are calling the people in and keeping the line going. Who better to have in charge, right, than Reverend Jackson and his voice? You sure have a voice for the people.
Yeah.
You have a voice for the people, as I like to call it. And I'm serious. Let's take a look at some of the social justice work that you've been doing, because I have a newspaper clipping and I want you to talk to us about it because you were doing a lot of different shots. So I want to make sure we touch on that and people know exactly what you actually are doing as a part of a leader in the community under the Manasseh Ministry. This is important. We want to know that when it's time to donate, that we're giving our monies to the right places, to the right people who's actually doing the work and getting the things that the community needs in their hand. So let's talk about this photo for a minute. Tell us a lot about what was going on here.
Well, at the time in Woodson Terrace, the police officers had a man already apprehended, and one of the officers uh, unlatched his dog onto the person who was already apprehended and in custody and told him what he would do. And he went on
Oh,
and put the dog on the person. So we came, when I say we, I mean Zaki Baruti,
I see
William
Zaki.
Boyd,
Hmm.
Pastor Carl Jackson, Coffee Wright, and some other activists was out there. And they just happened to catch me when I make the statement about how police officers have permission to kill and abuse black males on this street, and nothing is done about it. And that's the expression that you see with my hand saying that no one cares about it. But you can continue to keep thinking it's going to happen because we're not in that we shall overcome mindset. We're here to get justice, and we're not going to leave until justice has been given to that person and to us. And that's basically what that was about. And we continue to follow up on that case because our purpose was to make sure that the Woodson Terrace City Hall understood we were not going to leave, and that we want those officers who were in charge to be put
Hmm.
on leave of absence put on leave, administrative leave without pay, because that seems to be a
Hmm.
comfortable position that police officers receive. Or we're going to put you on administrative leave of absence, but you'll still get your money for doing wrong. That's crazy. So that's where we are.
Yeah. Okay. So you are still following up on that actively now.
Yes,
It's still
collectively,
going on
we all
today.
following up on it.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
good.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Do I look like a sir to you? No.
No, man, you don't look like no sir ever, never, ever, never. You couldn't look like a sir if you wanted to, ever, never.
Oh, no, I'm just kidding, Reverend Jackson.
I
I
made a
couldn't let
mistake.
that slide.
No, I don't
I couldn't
blame you. You
let that
supposed to
slide.
plug the
But
gap. You supposed to
no,
plug the gap.
but thank you for the work that you do and all the
Thank you.
advocacy. You also attend, I guess, do petitioning in Jeff City,
Hmm.
in the capital, for different
Yes.
cases or people that you feel are facing injustice.
Well, collaboratively, we were
Mm-hmm.
working together with another agency that is headed by M.L. Smith, Michelle Smith, along with Mr. Yellow Rogers, Pastor
Mm-hmm.
Gray, Pastor Duvall, and some other names. So Manasseh happens to be a part of that. And we went up to Jeff City because we wanted the governor to stop this execution from a person
Mm-hmm.
who did not deserve to be executed and who fit the exemption clause because he was dealing with disability,
Mm-hmm.
intellectual disability. Therefore, he did fit the clause. However, the governor chose to have him killed. You don't
Mm.
see anything in the paper about that. You don't see any reports on it. 2, 4, and 5 are not allowed to say anything about it because they're ran by the Republicans. So they're going to do what they want to do. And they haven't called anything, but the governor knew he had the authority to
Mm-hmm.
overturn it, commute his sentence to um, life without the possibility of parole. At no
Mm-hmm.
time was the committee ever saying with those 30,000 plus signatures that we want him free. We understood
Mm-hmm.
that he did the crime, but under the circumstances of the law, which is how he got incarcerated by the law, he was supposed to have his time commuted and not be killed, not be sentenced to death. Well, he was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Wow. Okay, we have a picture of you on the steps of Jeff City. What was going on this actual advocacy day, or who were you advocating for? What was
Well,
going on here?
at this particular on this particular day, uh, we were also doing the Ernest Johnson, and
Mm-hmm.
picture here is Carl Jackson, Pastor Carl Jackson, and a young man I taught in Pacific, Missouri, while he was incarcerated. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
recognize him; he recognized me, and then we
Mm-hmm.
began to have a conversation. So he had just came home not too long ago, and he seemingly has put his mind where he's going to stay out on the streets. But he was out there supporting Michelle Smith's organization, along with Pastor Darrell Gray and some others. Again, Coffee Wright, Pastor
Mm-hmm.
Jackson, Pastor Carl Jackson, and some others. I don't forget some of their names, but that's what we were doing. We were
Okay.
there to let it be known that we're not playing. We want Ernest Jackson um, sentence to be commuted. Well, to no avail, it did not work, but that's what we do. Now we along with others, and they're probably more involved than Manasseh,
Mm-hmm.
is helping this individual called Kevin Strickland, who needs to be released from something that he never did almost 40 years ago.
Wow. Okay, well, you all are doing some great work. Now, this is a testimony to the work that you do. The young man that you started
Hmm.
um, working with in prison, and now he's
Yes,
out and he's committed to
that's
helping
right.
others and being a
Hmm.
positive voice for the community. That's
Yep.
exactly why we need programs like yours, and I love to get the word out about them because we are looking for ways to empower our young people or the disadvantaged, because it don't have to be a young person, but any person of disadvantage, empower them with what they need so that they can be a positive part of the community. So that leads us to today's topic: struggles that women and children face when a loved one is incarcerated. I know this is a dear topic to you. You are very passionate about the work for families, not only the person that is incarcerated, making sure that they get mental health and things like that, but you're also an advocate for the women and the children that are left behind,
Yes, we
right?
are. Yes, we
Okay.
are.
And at one point, pre-COVID, you would have a fundraiser, XMAD,
Hmm.
that will help give scholarships to children who had a parent that was incarcerated. So since COVID has been put into place, um, let's talk about, first of all, what are some of the things that you do and some of the stances that you take and agencies that you work with these families. Let's just start there. Because I want to know, like fundraising wise, how are you raising money to do all this great work with COVID being a barrier to your main fundraising event?
Well, the pandemic, um, basically the pandemic stopped a lot of agencies from going into prisons. If you're not able to go into prisons, then you can't get a timesheet. If you don't have a timesheet, you can't fulfill your contract. Can't fulfill a contract, can't get paid. So we lost 2 contracts because of that pandemic. Now, there was some funding available last year, but Manasseh did not get the funding that we were supposed to get. But it was some funding available. I think we received, I should know what we received. I don't know why I say I think, $12,000 to operate, which also meant that we had to pay salaries as well as other expensive costs for whatever they did to take the operation, to run the operation. Manasseh fundraiser was ex-mad. When we thought we were going to be where we would usually want to go, they canceled and told us that they couldn't allow any events to take place. We still gave out funds because we were able to receive money from Miss Ada Taylor, who's in St. Louis, who has the Old Henry's restaurant, but she's also well known with the Deer Valley Healthcare. We received funds from Kevin Bockham. We received donations from Tim Clark, Reginald Slaughter. We received donations from Janice Ward. And so collectively, we was able to put that money together. And I'm not talking about Look Billy money. I'm talking about they gave us some money to be able to do what we needed to do. We gave out the scholarships and we were still able to function. This year, it has been somewhat of a challenge, but we still think that we're going to be able to, like we have been doing ever since 2007, to give out scholarships. Now, we work with other agencies, but it's not at the capacity that we would like to do, because persons don't understand that you could only volunteer for so much, or your limited time of volunteering is not as long as you would like for it to be. So what we try to do and collaborate with agency is to make sure that when we get donated items, we can include them in that distribution, such as what we did today, such as what we did last week, such as what we constantly do. We get donations from Steve Madden, and I mean we get quite a bit. So we make sure that agencies, not only those that we collaborate with, but those that we don't collaborate with, receive donated items from us.
Okay. And I can attest to you showing up with boxes for families. I've have held back to school fairs where I've given out backpacks, and you've shown up with comforters and pillows and household items for families. And I mean, those parents were more than happy. And then once we had a community Thanksgiving dinner where you came and gave items at the Kingdom House.
Yes.
See, I forgot about that, at the Kingdom House. So you do a lot. So I guess to donate, I guess they can go to your website. Go to your website to donate to Manasseh Ministry, or how do you accept donations?
Yeah, we accept them that way. You can go to our website and it'll show you where to donate, or you can send the donations to Manasseh Ministry, which I think you can see it on the screen, the name of the agency, and the address is 4982 Bristol Rock, Blackjack, Missouri 63033. And we'll be more than happy to receive your seed, and at the same time send you a thank you card. But I want to interject in here how much of a blessing you've been to us too, Miss Iris. When we were dealing with some challenges at the time, you were working for another agency, but you made sure that we received a donation. Then the next year, you did a fundraiser for us, and you made sure that Manasseh received $1,000 in that year. So even without the funding, we still have maintained a, as you say, very professional relationship. And I consider you like my sister, something. I mean, I had to keep my eyes right, but I could see you like.
Well,
No, I'm just joking.
what's funny is I met you and I was in corporate, and then we were able to make a community donation. But then I got all gung ho. I need to follow my passion and my purpose. And then that's when the next year I was not in corporate, but I was doing an event with Twyla
Yes,
Lee, because she has a nonprofit, Bridge the Gap. And
right.
so we did a fashion show and with
Hmm.
the reception and the art show and everything, and donated a check
You did.
to Manasseh Ministry.
You did.
Yeah. So that was nice and that was fun. But I'm always happy, like I said, to rally behind the agencies and the people that I know, that I can
Hmm.
partner with and I can trust my clients with, and they're going to do the right thing by them and for them. So I really appreciate that, and that's why I continue to lean on you
We
for
appreciate
such
you.
things.
Hmm.
And having a nonprofit of my own, and you kind of taking us along with you, and making sure that we're connected in the right places, and that we are doing, I guess, both of our sides of the ball to make sure that these families are serviced. But
Hmm.
let's talk. So what are some of the programs that you offer when you go into the prisons, and are you able to go into the prisons now?
Well, for whatever those reasons are, and I think it has to do with my religious objection to the vaccine, they have put us Manasseh on hold. But what I want to
Mhm,
say is, I want to interject this because it's very important. A lot of when you're dealing with over 6 million children
mhm,
throughout America who has a parent or both incarcerated, those struggles are extremely hard, and those
mhm,
children deal with. They have to act like they're normal in an
mhm,
abnormal situation every day. Some of those
mhm,
children deal with abuse, not only verbal abuse, emotional abuse. Sometimes they deal with sexual abuse. The mother may not be there, so someone else is there, or the mother is there, but she needs some financial help. So the guy is helping her, but he's also looking at her 13 or 14-year-old daughter. So she has
mhm,
those challenges to deal with. The girl may not say anything. Children may go to school looking okay, but they're not okay. Some of them suffer from depression, anxiety, shame. There's a lot that goes on when a person is incarcerated, and there's a lot of pressure on that mother, especially. Men do take care of their children, when that mother's incarcerated, but for the most part, those women deal with a lot. They have to change their whole situation. If they were going to school, they can't go to school right now. If they were starting a business, now that has changed. If this individual is bringing in funds, he can't bring them in anymore. So now she has to shift her whole life to make sure
mhm.
that her children or child is taken care of. I just wanted to insert that because many times I don't think people understand how women do a whole lot to make themselves be normal in an abnormal situation and try to keep their
Right.
children okay in an abnormal situation. She didn't ask for it. She might have known what he was doing, but it's irrelevant. She did not ask for this. This is not the life she set up and said at 6 years old. I want to make sure I have 3 children with no support and always be broken home. I don't think that was her dream.
It
I
don't
don't want to
sound
be able to
like
get
it.
my nails done, hair done. I want to be able to make sure my car don't never run right. I don't think that was her dream. So that's why we
Right.
give scholarships out to the children to make sure, and it's usually children in grade school, that they can have some their own money to go do some stuff that may not make sense to anyone else, but it makes sense to them. They can buy their own little pair of shoes, own little
Mhm.
coat, they can buy their own little iPad, and the mother
Okay, so
doesn't have
these
to.
scholarships are not necessarily college scholarships. These
Oh
are
no, ma'am.
scholarships that are readily available for them now. Now, how
For the
awesome is
children,
that? Right, while the
it's for
parent
the
is
children. Yeah.
incarcerated.
Mm-hmm. No,
That's
no.
a big help, especially at this time of the year.
Well, Manasseh, the way God gave it to me, it was never for children in high school. It was always for children in grade school, because if we can connect with the children that's in grade school to do a preventative program with them and show love for them, we can help them continue on their on that journey of being successful educational wise, and they can achieve the academical climate they're trying to make as they go toward that success in life. However, if you don't catch them, if they have to continuously deal with the bullying and the shame, well, they're going to fall by the wayside. Sad to say, but they are, because the mother can work 6 jobs and still be okay. It's just not normal.
They say when a parent goes to jail, the person that's incarcerated is not the only one doing time.
That is true. Matter of fact, the person on the outside is doing probably more time than the person on the inside. And I say this because the pressure is on the person outside. A tremendous documentary would be Times by Falk Rich and Robert Rich, where this lady for 20 years plus waited on her husband, even though he was in a federal institution. That's different from state. So they have some leadway. They have some better, a little bit more wider privileges, but she still got to travel almost 2 or 3 hours, maybe 4 hours to go see this man. She got to pay all the bills. She got to make sure the children are all right. And from my understanding, one of their sons has his doctorate degree. Now, this is not the normal, but it does happen that way. But can you imagine a woman waiting 20 years for her husband? I mean, waiting.
No, absolutely not.
But she did. And she did. She waited. And when he got in that van, no, that's all I'm going to say for that. That's all I'm saying for that. When he came out that door, yeah, it was on.
It's on the, well,
yeah,
see,
the federal institutions have visits where I think some of them have conjugal visits, so you can do some things. Yeah. Yeah. It makes it well. It kind of takes that tension. It takes that tension off. It don't take care of bills.
Not at all. Okay, so that's why the work that you do is important, because you're actually doing it for the elementary school age children to identify what their needs are at an elementary school age, right? And
yes.
Okay, and so who are some of the people that you are calling out to partner to assist in this? Who can help? Or is it the school counselors? Like, who can help you identify these children? Let's get a community around them to give them some support. Who can help you identify and contact you with names and donations and hands to volunteer? Who are some of your soldiers that may not be in your army right now, but that you can use?
Okay, if I understand the question, the question correctly, you're talking about the people that we can speak to.
No, the
right?
People that can partner with you. Like if I'm a school counselor, or if I'm a church nurse, or who do you look for to help identify these children? Or how do you identify?
We never have a problem with identifying children.
Okay.
And the reason being is because we've been, by our relationship in local and county and state prison, people know me. And so we know their families. And when they fill out the form, the information form, we know where those mothers are and where those children are. So from that perspective, that's how we get our audience of people.
So you're getting it from the actual prisoners, not the community.
Yeah, because family mediation, we try to work with that mother as well. Limited funding that doesn't allow us to do as we like to do. But when you cannot have a healthy relationship class for men incarcerated and do not share the same with the mother of the children, the wife or the mother that they're in relationship with, if you don't bring that same information to her. And we have to find out when he comes home, is this where you want him to be? And are you comfortable with him coming back into the house? Then we talk to them and get them to understand, you might have left being the man. You might have left calling the shots. You might have left being boss. But when you come back, the period of adjustment, it takes place, and it's different, and it has on a different face. And so you have to gradually get back into that place. And a lot of that getting back into that place is bringing in some sustainable income so that she can be sure that you're not going back. Not income that you can do this way or that way. And we say all that because A lot of men think because that's their house or they were married. I use myself as an example. When I came home from prison, I went right back into the position of who I was, the man of the house. However, it was embarrassingly painful for me to accept that my children wasn't gravitating to me like that. They were like, how long you gonna be out? This is gonna be another lie. We ain't really paying you no attention. And it took a while before they started saying, okay, he's serious. Okay, he doing this. Okay. And you find yourself, if you're not careful, trying to get the approval of your children and your loved one or your wife so that they'll see, hey, I ain't getting ready to do this. And I had to snap and kind of like hit myself like, hold up, wait a minute. I know I'm not doing anything, so they either going to accept me or they not. Well, some men can't deal with that. Some men have lived a lifestyle of, I bought that house, I bought that car, and she can't tell me what to do. And they're not ready to make that adjustment. When they come back home, it's some things that they need to look at, and they may not want to look at that.
Okay. Well, Reverend Jackson, we're going to have you back on, and we're going to talk about the adjustments that people coming home from prison need to make. That's a whole nother topic, and I have made note. But we want to sign off today. We're inviting those to donate to Manasseh Ministry. Go to his website at manassehministry.com. Learn more about the mission and donate to the cause. Thank you for joining me for another Winning Wednesday. Thank you, Reverend Jackson. And until next week, you all be safe.
Thank you. Thank you.
After the accident,
I was stuck paying all these medical bills.
The Witherspoon Law Group understands that you didn't deserve what happened to you, but you do deserve justice.
They weren't just there for me, they fought for me.
I care about what my clients are going through. We are in the fight of their lives.
We don't just fight for you, we fight with you and make sure you get the compensation you deserve.
And that's why we do what we do. And what we do is win.
Call 844-WE-WIN-44.